Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ishmael from Conjured Realm. Today, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how it is that I stop myself from being tricked by illusions of the 3D. How do I stop engaging with 3D circumstances when they're not ideal or when I see contrast? I sort of spoke on that a little bit on my last video, but today I just wanted more of an explanation for you guys because I can go really deep into this, and I just wanted to make this really clear for those who are kind of still confused and emailing me and asking me. So when I am creating anything or when I'm manifesting literally anything, I have an understanding that who I am is based off of me and not necessarily of an external factor. My I am has nothing to do with the outside. My I am has nothing to do with the external or anything in the 3D related of anything that I've experienced. None of that has to do with my I am. My I am has solely everything to do with who I decide to be. So when you have an understanding that, okay, let's just for example say I am rich, right? This becomes your new identity. This is who you are now, and this is who we are settling on. So if your I am becomes rich, if you see something that contrasts your I am, right? Because we know manifestation happens from an internal level and then it gets reflected outward. When you see something outwardly circumstantial that has nothing to do with you, your mind should immediately go to, well, I'm remembering who my I am is. And if my I am is rich and wealthy, then this circumstance is just null and void. You need to constantly keep reminding yourself of this fact. This is how you stop the triggers. This is how you stop spiraling. This is how you stop almost like engaging with things that have no importance in the 3D. It's a really useful skill, and you need to do this when things seem hard or when things seem like they're more frustrating. And I'm not telling you at all to not feel your feelings. Obviously, I always encourage that. Feel how you need to feel just to let them pass. However, you are the sole person responsible for doing this, for catching yourself. You need to have the awareness and understanding to stop and think for a second when these circumstances are happening, so you don't keep perpetuating a story that you don't want to exist in your reality. And you do this by referencing yourself. You do this by referring back to who you said you were. If you are manifesting an SP and you decided that I am loved, I am adored, I am magnetic, I am alluring. If SP is seemingly showing you something that's different than what you claim to be, that has nothing to do with you. By all means, if you need to feel your emotions because you saw something that triggered you, do so. However, you need to be in the mindset of understanding this has no effect on me because my I am is settled by me, not by a 3D circumstance, not by a 3D situation. If I say I am wealthy, if I say I am chosen, if I say I am prioritized, my word has to come above everything else in the 3D. Brazen impudence is something that you need to practice because it will take you so far. This is not to tell you that, again, emotions don't matter. They do. But this is almost like a way of taking your power back. This is a way of understanding I am is greater than any illusion that I created. Because let's talk about how illusions are only powerful because you gave them that power. They're only here because of you. They're only here because you gave your awareness to those things. You have an understanding that a 3D circumstance was a product of an old awareness that you no longer carry because you now have a new awareness of a different you. This is why these illusions are null and void. This is why I don't give very big reactions to the 3D if I see something that's unfavorable, because I understand they no longer matter. Yes, you still interact with the 3D, you can still coexist with the 3D, but in the back of your mind, you should have an understanding. This has no bearing on my manifestation coming because I already decided it's going to happen. And the more you keep doing this by trusting yourself, You teach your brain to keep using yourself as a reference point, as a validation point. And you no longer need a text. You no longer need SP to say they love you to know that they love you. You no longer need to check your bank account to know that you have the money that you want. You no longer have to look for an outside source to validate the things that you are wanting to bring in, because you know that they come from you regardless. So your desire is a given. Your desire should never be dictated on whether or not you see movement or something externally outside of you. You are everything. Everything happens through you. You are God in your reality. This is why everything else doesn't matter. Give favorable meanings to the things that seem like they're opposing you. That way you take away more of its power. I mean, they're powerless regardless, because their only power source came from you and the meaning that you gave it. So remember that anytime you come across any circumstance that you think is super difficult or super hard, or I can manifest literally everything else but this. The reason why that seems the hardest is because that's where your awareness is. Everything else seems completely possible but this one thing. That's where your awareness is lying, therefore that's what keeps perpetuating. It always was you, it will always be you, and it stems from your I am. So change who you are being and you get a result instantly. Because to tell you the truth, manifestation doesn't happen when you get a physical materialization. Manifestation is complete the second you place your awareness on a different outcome, whether you visualize it, whether you affirm it, whether you script it. That is a manifestation. Not because you affirm for something and then it happened in the physical realm. That is a given. That's like a BOGO. It will happen anyways. But the internal fulfillment is the success story. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to continue this conversation in my members only. If you want to join, there is a join button on my channel. Everyone is welcome. I just continue talking about topics we're already talking about here, but I think I go a little bit more deeper into them over there. So if you're interested, please join. If you guys have any other questions, don't forget I have my website down below. Contact me if you need anything. I have my email down below if you have any questions, conjuredrealm@gmail.com. Anyways, guys, happy manifesting.